The Diary of Anne Frank is a beautiful story with an extremely rich history. That's why, when I was tasked with designing the show, I knew there'd be a lot of work to be done that had absolutely nothing to do with design, but rather research. Of course, most scenic designers know that the first step to design is reading the script. With shows like The Diary of Anne Frank that are based on previously written pieces, you not only need to read the script, but the book itself. One of my earlier shows, The Lightning Thief, a Percy Jackson musical, was also based on a book, and I knew in order to do the show justice, I had to read the book and annotate all the descriptions of the props and scenes. I knew I was going to have the opportunity to do Anne Frank months ago, which gave me plenty of time to prepare for the final concept. I got right to work by reading the book/diary and bouncing some ideas around in my head. Unfortunately, my time wasn't entirely free. I was also in college at the time, and I was actively designing 3 other shows: Grease, the Addams Family School Edition, and John Proctor is the Villain. You can see my Grease design here, though it doesn't really carry the same weight of design methods as you'll see in the illustration later down the video. My Addams Family design, however, shares a lot more similarities that you'll see come up. John Proctor is the Villain was a college project, so I had plenty of help with this one, and the design wasn't extremely necessary. After reading the written materials for Anne Frank, I still felt like I was missing key details that were integral to developing a visual story. I attended a service and spoke with many of the members of the Jewish community. With their consultation, I felt ready to jump into the final steps. I discovered a virtual tour of the house and secret annex of Anne Frank and her family online. I'll link the museum website in the description, as well as the synagogues and the theaters. I printed out multiple screenshots from the virtual tour and pasted them around my drafting table. You'll see these later in the video. Because I didn't have a printer, I went on a walk to the Sarasota Library and printed the pages there. Unfortunately, they don't have color printers, but from working in the art industry for as long as I have, I've learned some key philosophies. If it needs color to look good, then it didn't look good to begin with. What I mean to say is, the objects that make up the scenery shouldn't be limited by their color, but rather their purpose. A sack of potatoes will always be a sack of potatoes, no matter the color of the bag. Referencing my Addams Family design, in the original series, the house had pink walls, which heavily clashed with their ominous aesthetic, but due to the color limitations of television at the time, pink was the best choice. You see, color is only necessary as a final detail. But I will say every artist is their own, and my advice is biased and comes entirely from my personal experience. And now, the illustration. My art always feels more visually pleasing on a larger scale. Many designers know that the concept design is more of a presentation piece for the directors and constructors. Because of this, I've learned that bigger is better. This board is left over from my time as a student at the Ringling College of Art and Design. A typical method I use is taping the corners of the paper onto my drafting table so I can angle the table without worrying about the paper slipping. Now I start the sketching pass. I prefer to use mechanical pencils for my designs because of how small the detail is. I use blue and red colored mechanical pencil lead. This helps me trace it digitally on Photoshop if I decide to take the extra step, but to be completely honest, I just like how it looks. Now, I'll let you guys sit back and just watch the illustration. As the design comes to an end, I always make sure to label the sections and sign my work. I can't wait to start the construction and see this two-dimensional piece convert into 3 dimensions. I may be the designer and constructor, but it's really the actors and performers that are what bring the scenery to life. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the process of the construction itself. One last insert. This is my first attempt at posting a video like this, so a like and subscribe would mean a lot. But the whole purpose of these videos is to be informative, and I have no desire to make a profit from this. I just want other artists and curious people to have an idea of how other designers work and create. Anyways, thanks for watching.